friends. I've taken a little break from the wood carving project because I can, because I am the boss of me now. And I've taken on some restoration projects. So underneath my studio is a 1,700 square foot basement that's filled full of stuff that I've collected over the decades. And many of these things were tucked away because I couldn't pass them up at the time that I found them, but I had no real need to have them up and running. But now I do, and I'm finding great pleasure and satisfaction in taking these old busted up tools and getting them up and running again. So anyway, we're going to talk about a couple of things today. We're going to talk about this draw cut saw, which is 99% up and running, and then at the end, maybe we're going to talk a little bit about the skid jack that it's sitting on that is going to be my next project. So anyway, funny thing, I didn't want to buy this, but I was at the flea market, and the knucklehead that was with me convinced me that I couldn't live without it, and I can't thank them enough for encouraging me to, because I'm so proud to have this and to have the opportunity to fix it up and enjoy the experience of learning a little bit about the history of this tool. So here comes the nerdy part, so fast forward if you're not into it, but this is the model number one Marvel draw cut saw, and it was manufactured by the Armstrong and Blum Manufacturing Company here in Chicago, Illinois. And a funny thing about Armstrong and Blum is that Armstrong made tool holders and Blum made tools, and these guys got together, and because they happened to be neighbors that went to the same church, and started talking and decided to form a company together. And one of the first things that they manufactured back in at the turn of the century was this saw, which has on the opposite side of the saw, it has the patent date, which is July 16th, 1912. So in any case, it turns out that Armstrong and Blum is, I could literally throw a rock from my studio and hit the street that Armstrong and Blum was on just down the road from me here. So that's kind of an interesting coincidence. Anyway, so what are the basics? This was a very innovative saw because on reciprocating saws you have what's called a draw stroke when it's cutting in, and then a return stroke. And the design of this, the adjustability of both feed pressure and to be able to regulate how much tension was being held down on this was a huge innovation, because it was able to exercise pressure down on the draw stroke and then lift that up on the upstroke. And you'll hear that in the rhythm of it when it runs. So that was kind of an innovation. So anyway, it has a nice cute little vise on it that it shows a 4x4 inch capacity for cutting. It uses it has a blade support mechanism that can allow you to stage this in a variety of different heights above the material. I've got a piece of quarter by 2 stock here. I can line up and then raise the blade up above my stock. I can secure it in the vise. It has something called a dog clutch, which allows you to engage and disengage the drive. And when the blade comes all the way down to the bottom of the stroke, that dog clutch is activated and it discontinues the feeding force down, so you don't end up cutting through the outfeed side of the table. I'm also going to fuss with this a little bit more, but there's a stop that was built into it that allowed you to make multiple cuts. So anyway, let's fire this up. We don't have guards on any of our belts, so we need to be extra cautious about making sure that we're not, don't have anything hanging off of us is going to get hung up in there, because that would just be ugly. Okay? Fire this guy up. Engage the drive. any point in time, or again, that dog punch will kick into the bottom and cut off. So satisfying. Anyway, thanks for checking in. Stay tuned, because we're going to be working on this skid jack project next.